Alam. Shalom, righteous family. Welcome back to TRU-TALK. And today I just want to ask a question, or more like ask and answer a question. Is who is on welfare? What is this whole welfare thing about? Because ever since a certain type of president stood up and said the words, these ghetto queens, I mean not ghetto queens, these welfare queens, it was a dog whistle to say all these young black women that got children by different baby daddies and living in the project and just don't want to work or living off the government or the taxpayers' money. And we all done heard that story. I hear it not only from young people, but even older people in my family. Some people you think you'll know better, but they really hadn't. I always say I don't argue with people that are basing that information off what they heard and what they think instead of actually what's true in fact. And a lot of people do that. And many times I do that. I think I know something, and then when I really think about it, I'm like, I just feel and think this way because of what I've been told and shown, but I never really looked into it. But have y'all ever had a conversation with an older or younger or anybody at that matter, and they'll say, those people on welfare, they just sitting down and lazy and don't want to work. Since Trump, like no matter what Trump did, I feel like any other president would have done this. Some of the same people would have been calling him out, but because they really worship this man, everything he do is like a good thing. People like, you know what? I'm glad he taking benefit from people because they need to work. Have y'all heard a lot of people say that? It's a good thing because they gonna have to get up and work. All these women that's been dependent on the government and not a man, now they gonna have to go out and get a man, and they gonna have to submit to a man now because these women weren't submitting to the man because the government was taking care of them. All these lazy people that don't want to work and just sitting there and getting fat off this big check for the government, now they can finally get a job. And a lot of people wholeheartedly believe that, and they mad at the lesser force in it for getting help. And before I go any further, I would just want to kind of ask this question because the main people that say this is they like to say you don't supposed to, the government don't supposed to take care of you. You don't supposed to depend on the government. Stop depending on the government to help you. Well, if the citizens of the country can't depend on their own government for help, then who can they depend on? Because when you think about it, Trump cutting all these funds for who? Who are receiving this money? Because when you think about it, this is our money, our tax paying money. So he's cutting all these funds that our tax paying money, our money is going to pay to save who money? How anybody asks that question when they say the country is in debt? To debt to who? If I'm thinking about it, they in debt to us and still connecting our money to pay us our debt that they owe us. So that's why they just going deeper in debt because the people who they owe is us. It's our money. Who you think pay the government? We pay the government. So when Trump and the government right now, the Republican Party, when they saying, this money is not being spent well and we gonna cut back to save the people money, save the money how? What do y'all want to spend this money on since y'all cutting back the funds is our money? Are y'all gonna build more roads? Or if y'all just cutting it so y'all can give it to the rich and the rich get rich and the poor get poor? So that's one thing to think about. But the government has always helped its people. That's what make a strong country is the government helping its people. Any government that don't want drugs and crimes and sickness and just a country full of poor, sick, violent people are going to help their people to get a job. They're going to help their people, uh, people of the country to educate their people, help their people educate to get a job. When America was first built, they gave farmers, well, be specific, white farmers, free land and free grants. That's fall under welfare of the government giving out handouts. They actually taught these farmers how to farm, gave them free equipment, free land, so they can be able to work, so they can provide the country food. And they also, before so-called Negro was let in the system, they was letting people, Caucasian, giving them free college because they want their people to be educated, know the history. So the government, yes, is absolutely supposed to help their people, and the most benefits of the help of the government is the Caucasian race. That's how they got so far ahead. Even when it comes to getting a house loan, they got assistance in house loans and all type of government cuts, while black people was not able to. And these the same people talking about pull yourself up by the bootstrap. We work hard for what we got, as if the government has not assisted them. But that's what the government of the country supposed to do because they want to see their people do well. Not to mention that a lot of farmers, if you just do a little bit stuff called research in the crisis of the farmer, when a lot of these benefits was taken away, benefits that helped the farmers, that farmers was getting what we call welfare. They don't call it that. It's up on well, it falls under welfare, but they call it another name. That those they not getting that help no more. So let's just kind of kill this myth that everybody on welfare is just lazy and don't have a job. Is that true? Okay, this is called gameofjobs.org. Want to quote my source just in case y'all want to look this up. They got 4 stars, and it says how many welfare recipients are employed. And yeah, sorry, my bad. But yeah, this was done September 23, 2005. So this is up to date data. Nothing wrong with getting data that's maybe 3 or 4 years old, but this will show recent data. Now, I got it highlighted right here of what I want to read for y'all. It says 11 welfare programs across 5 areas. So basically, it says that there's 11 programs that's fall under welfare, like SNAP is fall under welfare, including health assistance through Medicaid. And that's another thing. Who are on welfare? When you see these big numbers, these millions of people on welfare, majority of those people are children with Medicaid. Because Medicaid, and Medicare count as welfare government assistance. So if anybody's child gets sick and they go to the hospital and they got Medicaid or Medicare, and there's millions of children in America that fall up on that benefit, then you got the people that are disabled, old people, you got the vets. All these are considered government assistance. Later goes back. Among SNAP households, with at least one working age, uh, at least at, at with at least one working age, non-disability adult health or employed while receiving benefits. So it's saying that half of acting up. Let me start over. So it says once again 11 welfare programs. So there's 11 programs that fall up under welfare, and it says including health assistance throughout Medicare or Medicaid. So when you hear the numbers, this so many million people are on welfare. A lot of those million people are children. Most people, children, white, black, Chinese, whatever, in America, fall up under some type of assurance where if they get hurt, I think it's all the way to 18, that if anything happened, they can go to the doctor. So y'all don't want children to be able to get seen about? I'm just asking. If the parent can't afford it, if it's too much, is this an issue for the government to help the children of their country so they can grow up, be strong, and get jobs and work? But it says among SNAP household, at least one working age, non-disability adult. So these are households where there are at least one working age adults, and there's nobody disabled there. It says over half are employed while receiving benefit. So these are just a specific type of people that feel in benefit. We're not talking about the disabled. We're not talking about the children. We're not talking about the retired. We're not talking about the vets. Over half of the people that got at least only one person is working age in the house. The people that are on SNAP, half of the people that are on SNAP that got one person, age working person, over half of them are employed. Okay, that's one data or statistic talking about a certain thing. Now it says with more than 80% working the year before and after. So 80% of these people, because a lot of times people like to say, well, these people, once they get these benefits, they don't want to work, they just get comfortable off the benefit. But it says 80% of these people uh, get jobs after, or they already got the job before. So that means, because the idea is why, before I go there, I'm going to read a little bit more. I'm gonna start down here where it says 26 million, 21.6 million household receive snaps, and over 75%. So 75% of those 21.6 million of those households has at least one working member, while about third has multiple earners. So the idea of these people are not working. Matter of fact, a lot of these people got two or three jobs. And a lot of these people got more than one person in the household that's earning some type of income. But because the minimum wage has stayed the same and everything went up, that they don't make enough income, well, what would be called, what's the name I'm looking for? They don't make a livable income according to the America's uh, database, the government data. So people act like people are just signing up and just receiving millions of dollars in benefit. No, first you got to be qualified. These people are qualified to receive, and most of these people are working people. Most of those people got two or three jobs and multiple people in the household working, but they still not making enough to make a living. So yes, the government will assist them. He may give them $250 a month and $300 in food stamps, and the money they're getting is never like it's only enough, and they appreciate it because they help out. But they make like these people sitting back and just getting millions and millions of dollars. Now people that got like 7 or 8 children, they may get like thousands and something dollars in food stamps or $600 or $700 a month. But that money go fast, especially if you got 4 or 5 kids, and then you got other kids that may come to your house out the neighborhood that you know, like these people are not just sitting down living a good life off the government. But we see, and that's the thing that we're not even talking about. We're not even talking about the children. Like stuff like we talked about Medicaid and Medicare for children. We're not talking about stuff like free lunch. That's one of those 11 programs that fall on the welfare. When you go to school, people go to school and eat. You don't want the kids to eat at school. Or how about disabled people or children that's born disabled that some people have to take care of for life? Or how about those that got injured in the war or in a car accident? Disabled people, those people are on the benefit. And then you got the elders, the elders that get sick, that can't work. And then you got the vets, you know, the army vets. That was one of the conversations and topics was the army vets was going to receive money, and they said yeah. So all that there's all those fall up under welfare. There's a part of 11, one of the part of the 11 programs that fall under welfare. So the people that retired, yeah, that fall under welfare. Then when they get that check every month in the mail, where you think that money coming from out there? That retirement fund. So the people that done retired, they should get up and go back to work too. And that's the thing. People talk what they don't know. They just act like people are just getting free money and they don't need help. First of all, nobody can just get welfare government assistance. You gotta qualify for it. So these people that receiving it are qualifying for it. Do you have a couple people that may fall through the cracks, that uh scammers, that fake paperwork and stuff? Yeah, you always have that. But that's not the majority. Even the farmers are doing bad because they lost their assistance. If you said what are the top people that receive welfare assistance, I say first children, then it's the disabled, uh, children, disabled, uh, probably our elders. Then you have maybe the vets, like out the farmers, like and then black people may be last on that list when it comes to people receiving welfare. Because it's known fact that white women are the biggest benefits of welfare. So this whole idea, I mean, they so obsessed with us, man, like everything. But I know why. It's prophesied in the holy scriptures that we was gonna be hated, despised, and mocked. But they make like this whole thing of just some black fat lady. There's a, I guess there's 21 million black fat women that got children just sitting down getting rich off the government. Because that's how they make you think. I'm pretty sure. Have y'all ever heard this story? Goddamn. hold this story told like a million times by 8 million different people. Now, of course, I'm exaggerating, but they was in Walmart and they saw a black lady with children with a whole bunch of welfare money, and they looked at her buggy, and what they seen in her buggy was crabs, lobsters, just all this expensive luxury food, and she didn't have nothing for the kids. Y'all, have y'all heard that story? A lot of people done told that same story. Now, as somebody that grew up off what they call government cheese, you know, my mama, we had food stamps and welfare, and we struggled. We barely made it. My mama was disabled, and she didn't have no man to help. And when she did have a so-called boyfriend, we still struggled, and he had a job. But nevertheless, every now and then, like maybe somebody having a low down country boy, even though I don't eat that food no more, it's abomination. But we may have a party, a low down country boy or whatever, and yes, we don't have money. The only thing we have is food stamps, and my mom may spend the food stamps to get the lobster, and she'll be saying, "Man, you know these are expensive lobsters. I'm spending." She know that those lobsters expensive. That food is for us, so she already know that we don't do this often. It may just be a celebration or something like. Can poor people have like poor people can't eat crabs? Poor people can't enjoy some nice things, even though we nobody should be eating crabs or catfish. It's abomination, pig or pork, none of that. But like it's like when people say, "Oh, that saying that living in the project but got a $500,000 car or $50,000 car in the driveway." Like, how much do your car cost? Like, yeah, that whole car probably costs 75 100,000, but the payments is probably like 150 a month or $200 a month. Like the whole idea that these person got this $700 $1,000,000 cost. Like if you price your car, how much is it cost? But don't you know that person is not paying 50 100,000 every month for that car? That she's renting the car, she's renting it on it more than likely, and the payments are probably cheap is why she got it. Or the payment might be high, but she feel like she able to pay for it. But it's the idea that the hardness of heart, the evil in heart, that you can look at somebody and don't want them to have nice things to say they shouldn't have nice things. Instead of being happy and say, I'm glad these people are able to have this car. Would you rather see them in a regularly towed car? Would that make you feel better? Because they poor, they don't deserve to have nice things. Like, where did this ideal come from? But as my king say, and I would say as I king, but everybody don't accept him as their king. So as my king, and if you want him, he can be your king too. But as my king said, what comes from the mouth proceeds from the heart, and that's what it is, a heart issue. Because when you hear people talk about, yeah, these people lazy, these people need to get up and work. When they hear about people losing benefits, they don't think about the children that's not going to eat. They don't think about the parents that's working double shift and jobs and already struggling that's going to struggle even more. They don't think about that because it's not in their heart. They don't have that compassion. And they can say Lord Jesus all they want. And the real sad thing of most of these people are supposed to be Christians. They label themselves as conservative and Christians and Christian values. Ain't the Christian value is to take care of the widows, the fathers, the homeless, the poor, the needy? Ain't that built on? the faith, I would say our faith, but I don't believe what y'all. I truly believe the word of God. I don't believe what Christians believe, because I really think today Christians, their belief is Sunday worship. That's all they believe that they gotta do is go to church on Sunday and worship God and hear how God is gonna bless them. Me. It's all about me. He knows my name. My name. He knows my name. Oh, they counted me out, but God counted me in, like motivation speech. And then they go and be self righteous and whatever they feel like is right, they do. That's why the scripture and they twist the scriptures when it says don't judge nobody. It's not talking about don't judge nobody behavior. Don't We are called to rebuke people and tell people they're doing wrong. But it's talking about don't judge people appearance. Don't judge them because of their situation. It says don't judge the outer limit. Don't judge somebody because they, have respect of a person because somebody look this way or don't look that way or got money or don't got money. But these people are respect the person. They judge people by appearance. As the father said, you don't know what's on the heart side, and they just think these people lazy and don't need money. And I heard some of those people that be talking like that. They be like, yeah, I try to get welfare, or I try to get food stamps or some type of government assistance, and they said I made too much. They said I was over by $2 or $5, and that's sad because a lot of people need help but can't get it because yeah they over by $2 or $3. So now you ain't got it. So now you talking about those who got it. So let me ask this: if you would have got it, then what? Would you be included one of those people that are lazy and don't want to work? So the idea you say, yeah, I filled it out to go. If you think that everybody should work and don't need government assistance, why did you went down there to fill it out to get government assistance and then get mad because they denied you because you was a dollar over and they said we couldn't help you, and I get mad at the people that can get help instead of saying that the system is broken. I know some people that only get $75 in food stamps, but they grateful. So the idea of these people just sitting down get millions of dollars or thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars, and they just able to get these nice cars and eat lobster and just live good off the government money and don't work is a lie. Most it says half of these people, not including the ones that's disabled or children, half of the people that's on SNAP are employed. They are income. We talking about full count now. We not even they not even counting the people that uh may have temporary. If you ever know if you got tent service, where maybe you work on the job for 3 months or 6 months, and then you gotta wait until they got something else. A lot of times it ain't about not having a job and not being fired. Or maybe say you do get fired because you get a job and your car break down and you're not able to get there and you get fired or something happen. Or there's many reasons you can get fired and it ain't your fault. Too many employers and they just wanted to cut you and a couple more people. Like it's talking about people with full time jobs, not even people with. If you read down that article, it was talking about they're not counting those with part time jobs, but those that were full time jobs that had it over a year. Yeah, half of those people are on SNAP that had their job over a year already. Now talk about the ones that worked for 6 months and at a tent service and then they didn't have no more work for them or something like that, or working half time. I mean part time. But yeah, it goes back to the heart, man. So I hope this answered the question. Who's on welfare? What is welfare? And should the government help its people out? Yes, the government should 100% help its people out. It's been doing it. And if you're not going to help your people out, what are you going to do with this money that you're supposed to be cutting back on? They already done cut programs like Job Corps that's helping people to get jobs and better themselves. Like this money is supposed to be help to help the people better themselves to make it. Like and and I don't know about y'all, but I don't mind my tax money being spent to help out the disabled, the poor, the widows, to go to the vets, to go to the retired, those that retired, to go to children eating. I don't mind my money going to that. You don't miss it anyway. A lot this money that this they been always been taking our tax money, and we don't even miss it. Well, if we had it, we'll probably miss it, but we don't even know we miss it. So the money that you don't really know how much you missing it, you mad because of that money that you never even miss is going to help people. Like let's just say that people are not working and you are working. Like if a person work or don't work, how's that affecting you or your bank account? They're like, oh, these people can work now. Okay, how that's gonna make your life better if these people wasn't working? You see what I'm saying? Like I just don't get the notion. Like this the hill you gonna die on? Let's not help people that need it. Let's repeat this one time. The people that are getting these assistance, they qualify for it. They met the criteria to receive these, and 75% of these people have jobs. 85% of these people have jobs. They just don't get these jobs and stop working. They don't just get assistance because they make like these people. It says 80% uh, either have a job for a year or get a job once they get on these SNAP benefits. So they don't just get on these things and well I ain't got to work no more. No, 80% after they get on, they still look for a job and find a job and work on that job for a year or more. But nobody says nothing when they say they got these secret programs that billions of our tax got it going to. But it's so secret that we don't even know where our money going to. We just know it's going to these secret organizations in the government. Nobody says nothing about that. Nobody mad about that and saying where my money being spent. Nobody talk about the billions and billions of dollars that they say are missing, that are uncounted for in the government. Nobody upset about that, but oh, we upset that our money going to help people because these people lazy, going to help American citizens and children, and this over like I don't get it. I don't get it. It's foolish, but it just shows you the state of the world and what we living in, where we living in. Where a man that never worked a day in his life was born into money, while people are working for free. He's spending billions on a ballroom. You can't make this stuff up. And before I go, I gotta say there is a. They always talk about the middle class. There's a upper class, a middle class, and a lower class. But every time, every situation, they talk about the middle class. When you go on the news, it's the middle class, the middle class. They talk about the middle class like there's no lower class. And even if they say, well, first they don't talk about the upper class because they'll piss people off. When they hear about people that's able to buy jets and planes and got mansions that they don't even stay in, just wasting money. But let's just say over half of a little over half of America was all considered middle class. So the other are lower class. And I think that's what they want. They only want two class. They want the upper class, and then they want the so-called middle class. They don't want no lower class no more. The middle class is gonna become the lower class because they talk about the middle class like the lower class don't exist. Like if you know about the struggle, you got people every day. They say most of America live check to check. This those with a job struggling. Someone got two or three jobs, and they still being late on rent or struggling with car notes. That's why there's things in this world. Well, car loan business. We got business where people can take out loans on their houses and cars, and people have to do that. And these are people with jobs are working. So this idea of people are just lazy. Like, but at the end of the day, let Yah be true and every man a lie. Till next time, Shalom.